Hello guys, how are you all doing? Today we are gonna explain an anime named Domestic Girlfriend. So let's start the video. High schooler Natsuo is in love with his teacher, Hina. Trying to get past his feelings, Natsuo goes on a group date with his friends and meets a quiet girl named Rue Tachibana. Uninterested in the event, the two sneak out. She takes Natsuo to her house and then asks him to have physical with her, although she is not romantically interested in him. Afterwards, his widower father tells Natsuo that he is going to remarry, and Natsuo finds that his new stepsisters are Hina and Rue. Following the marriage, they move into a new house together. As everyone is going to bed, Natsuo tries to kiss a sleeping Hina but is interrupted by Rue. Rue drags Hina to her bedroom after seeing Natsuo try to kiss her. The next day, Natsuo finds that Rue has transferred to his school. They decide to act like strangers. Natsuo observes Hina crying on school roof. During lunch, Natsuo helps Rue make friends by staging an argument which allows their classmates to see Rue's personality. Later at home, Natsuo tries to get a reluctant Hina to open up about her boyfriend, but they are interrupted. Natsuo is upset about Hina's relationship with her boyfriend, and is encouraged by his best friend Fumiya. He asks Hina to break up with her boyfriend, but ends up kissing her. Hina slaps his face, then returns the kiss and pushes him onto her bed. After seeing the shock in his eyes, she tells him that he is still a child and should not interfere in her life. The next day, Natsuo leaves the house to stay with Fumiya, upsetting the household. Rue meets him at Fumiya's house and, after discussing how to break up Hina's relationship, they return home. Natsuo and Rue stalk Hina, but have no luck finding her boyfriend. They steal Hina's phone, planning for Rue to impersonate Hina and break up, but she is too nervous to speak to the stranger. While they discuss their next move at the restaurant where Fumiya works, Hina and her boyfriend Sho enter. Natsuo argues with Sho until Rue throws water in Sho's face and runs away. Natsuo follows her, and later Hina tells Sho that they should avoid each other for a while. The next day, Natsuo visits his mother's grave. Rue and Hina follow him, with Hina stating that her relationship is over. They then pray at the grave together, introducing themselves as Natsuo's new sisters. Rue befriends Momo Kashiwabara, who has a reputation for dating numerous boys. They meet Natsuo while shopping, and he saves Momo from being struck by a bicyclist. Momo later asks Rue if she can fall for him. Momo flirts with Natsuo at school, but he returns home to take care of Rue, who said she was sick. And Rue reveals that Momo has a crush on him. The next day at lunchtime, Momo kisses Natsuo on the cheek to cheer him up. Later, Momo invites him to her house where they make out in her room. He sees scars on her wrist, which she tells him to ignore. Natsuo cooks yaki udon for her, telling her that she can call him whenever she is lonely. She begins to cry, telling him how none of the boys that she dated treated her like he does. She asks him if they are dating, but he answers that maybe neither of them should date people they are emotionally dependent upon. Rue asks Natsuo to help her find a club. They come across the literature club, where Natsuo takes a book by his favorite author, Yu Hasakawa, though Rue warns him about theft. When returning it the following day, he is caught by teacher Reiji Kariya, who threatens to report him if he doesn't join the club. When Kariya learns that Natsuo and Mio Ashihara, the club's only other member, both like romance novels, he tries to get them to kiss. Natsuo stops after seeing tears well up in Ashihara's eyes. The next day, they begin passing notes in the library, forming a friendship. Momo and Rue later join the club. On the weekend, Hina asks Natsuo if they can go out. Natsuo and Hina are mistaken for a couple at a restaurant. They talk at a beach, Natsuo being curious about why she had the affair with Sho. A flashback shows Hina's high school days with him. Natsuo tells Hina that he has finished his novel, and confesses his love for her. He is surprised when she asks if they can go out. She wades into the water with him, explaining that it would be like committing double suicide because they would lose everything. They return home and Hina reads Natsuo's novel. The following night, Natsuo peeks into Hina's room and sees her doing something wrong while calling Sho's name. He drops a book and hides behind the stairs when she looks for what caused the noise. The next morning, Hina greets Natsuo and says that he should wake up a little early. She waves to him as she leaves. Looking at her hand, Natsuo feels embarrassed. Natsuo and schoolmate Alex catch a thief who stole Rue's underwear. Alex becomes interested in Rue, but when Natsuo introduces them, Rue storms out. Natsuo cooks for Rue to apologize, which she accepts by having him kiss her. Hina sees this and becomes upset, and Rue tells Hina her true feelings. Hina decides to move out. On a family outing to a shrine, Natsuo tries to talk to Hina. She initially tries to avoid him, but then confesses her true feelings and how she couldn't hold back if she stayed. They hold hands as they walk home. Rue meets Sho at a bookstore. He treats her to a meal to apologize for the trouble he caused, and explains that he is now divorced but would feel selfish to reconcile with Hina. Hina moves out but leaves Natsuo a key to her apartment. Later, Rue finds Natsuo staring out the window in Hina's old room and hugs him. Natsuo goes to Hina's apartment and watches her sleep. She wakes up and he tells her that he is willing to die with her. They kiss, but Hina stops him when he tries to go further, saying that they shouldn't rush things. The next day at school, she confesses that she feels the same way and they kiss. Natsuo regularly visits Hina's apartment as their relationship progresses. The literature club members go to visit absent teacher Korea, and at his apartment learn that their club supervisor is novelist Yu Hasakawa, one of Natsuo's idols. Natsuo breaks his leg and Rue cares for him, including bathing him, but he lies to her about his secret visits to Hina. After being put out by his lies, Rue reads Natsuo's novel and realizes that he is in love with Hina. She confronts him at Hina's apartment and flees when she sees them together. Natsuo finds her, resolving to tell her everything. Natsuo tells Rue about his relationship with Hina, and Rue decides to shun them while not at home. Rue confronts Hina, who apologizes for her relationship with Natsuo and offers to break up, understanding Hina's feelings. Rue stops her and the sisters reconcile. The second-year students go on a beach vacation to Okinawa, where Natsuo buys a souvenir ring for Hina. When he sneaks into her hotel room to give it to her, she tries to break up with him. Natsuo objects and puts the ring on her finger. They watch a fireworks display from her window and Natsuo asks Hina to marry him in the future, calling her by her name for the first time. They have a match and discuss their feelings. Returning to the school, Hina is summoned by the principal and shown a picture of her kissing Natsuo at the hotel window. The principal confronts Hina over her relationship with Natsuo. Hina announces that she is being transferred to a distant school. Natsuo and Rue are unable to contact Hina. A letter in Hina's empty apartment explains to Natsuo that she requested the transfer in exchange for the school's silence, and to help Natsuo move on. Natsuo falls into a depression, until members of the literature club encourage him and he pours his heart into a new novel. On New Year's Day, Natsuo and the club take it to Korea. Later, Natsuo is abducted to a ceremony where his novel, entered into a contest by Korea, has won first prize. Natsuo returns home and is surprised when he thinks he sees Hina, rushing to hug her and tell her the news. It is actually Rue in a wig, and she rushes to her room in tears. Natsuo and Rue discuss his feelings for Hina, and he admits to having physical with her. Rue then kisses Natsuo and says she won't hold back anymore. Elsewhere, two schoolgirls discuss Hina's hair, which is now short. Hina looks to the distance and smiles as the resolution in Natsuo's second novel, entitled A Well, See You. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Make sure to subscribe the channel. I will see you in next video. Till then.
Bye!